And
Oh,
here we
here we
are.
go. Okay, fine.
Yay. Oh,
Fine.
great Monday evening,
How's my
Facebook.
profile?
Fabulous. Fresh and handsome and looking good for a Monday evening. For those of
Right.
you
Thank
tuning
you. Thank
in,
you.
you are welcome. Kelly Chiasson, Landed for Success here. And it is my pleasure. You can see a big smile on my face. This is really like I'm sitting in the fun seat. And it's no lie. I am so proud to be joined by this lovely gentleman sitting next to me here virtually, Mr. Paul Joseph, the co-founder, alongside with your partner, if you want to say her name, Sabrina
Sabrina
Jamal,
Jamal.
is that right?
Right. Right.
Of 24hvirtual.com. This is an incredible virtual receptionist service that he jumped on here. He is holding one of our incredible spotlights as a gifting sponsor in our upcoming 14th virtual speed networking event this Thursday evening, where he gets to talk about who he is and what his business is. And I will tell you, he and his incredible partner, these two amazing entrepreneurs, have been very passionate and very serving of others and how they can lift others up professionally, how they can help support people's businesses, kind of help them take a load off and put their focus and energy into other aspects of their business while they do some of the significant heavy lifting, but in a great virtual way that's very, very needed and necessary. So, right. Paul, without any further ado, I'm so excited for you to hop on here. You and I have had the pleasure of getting to know each other over the past year, and I still remember our late night conversation when you came in to hold the spotlight at an event last fall, and I just love your energy. I love what you're doing. And your partner, Sabrina, as well. I just love you both. So thanks so much for hopping on here with me this evening.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. Actually, it's quite. I always enjoy speaking with you because your energy, man, it kind of brings out the best in me. It's because I kind of correlate to that energy, that vibrant energy. So it's very appreciative to be speaking with you.
Oh my God, from my heart, thank you. I appreciate that sentiment, and I share it with you. When we first talked, we're like, oh my God, this is like, it was such a fun conversation.
It was.
You're really the heart that comes through on the phone. To those of you that are tuning in here, whether live or on the replay, you'll hear it from him, but he puts it in, goes right into his business and how he's serving others. So Paul, if you would let the ladies and gentlemen know, what is it that you are currently have rocking and rolling for everybody?
So our initial business, it's a virtual receptionist. So to put it in layman's terms, we handle all your business calls, your incoming, your outbound, anything that has to do with a phone call, we handle it. A lot of when I speak with a lot of entrepreneurs or even business owners, they have this misconception that we're just an answering service. So even Gordon, when I initially spoke with him, he's like, okay, so what else can you offer? Until we had an in-depth conversation, and then little did he know that, we handle a lot more than what he had initially thought. We have a client that's also part of Landed for Success. So we do a lot of back end work for this client in terms of inbound calling, support in terms of their back end, as well as anything outbound, any outbound campaigns that we need to do. So we handle that as well. So think of us as an extension to your back end, right? Not just an answering service. We handle everything from appointment setting to lead qualification, or order processing, anything that you need handled through a phone call, we handle it.
What is when you first where what did you have going on that you saw? Because it's, as entrepreneurs, we you see a need, fill a need. So when you're starting a business, whether whether you're inventing something or a service, whatever it may be, it comes from a need. So where were you that you were experiencing, okay, there's a need for this to be taken to the next level and I'm the guy? Well, and gal,
So,
Sabrina, that's a shout out to you too.
um, so I knew Sabrina from university days. Both of us, we went to University of Windsor. So our friendship goes back a really long time. So when I approached her to start a business, we were actually going to start a remote cleaning business nationally,
Wow.
right? So we weren't, it was just supposed to be like a lead generation business where we would split profits with the cleaners, right? And it was supposed to be a national business. So one of the key factors in deciding what business I wanted to go in is I've dabbled into many businesses from a very young age. Um, and it, and the key thing that was always important, the core of any businesses that I look into is location independence. So I do not want to be tied down to a single location. So I want to be able to create a business where we could do everything virtually. So when we initially were going to launch this cleaning business, it was supposed to be a virtual business where we would let it generate leads for local cleaners across Canada. And that's when COVID had started. So at that point, everybody was shutting down. A lot of people were losing work. A lot of businesses were shutting down, cleaning business especially. And at that point, we didn't feel like it was the best use of our time and energy to be able to create this business. Mind you, at this point, we were 90% complete on this cleaning business. So we only needed another month and we were launching. And then COVID happened, everything got shut down. So we started strategizing, okay, do we put this off or do we think of something else? So at that point, um, in the middle of realizing what a lot of businesses needed and wanted was not prevalent in Canada, especially in the States. Answering service, call centers, or virtual receptionists, it's massive, right? So it's a norm in the States, but in Canada, it wasn't the norm. So we're like, okay, we pivoted to, okay, let's think about what we can do to help these businesses where it will be feasible for them for a fraction of the cost to be able to or acquire a service that is beneficial. So when we launched this business, we were just thinking about, okay, let's just answer phone calls. But then one of the main factors that was an issue with call centers is when a call comes in, it goes through a round robin system. So what I mean by round robin system is any agents that's available to answer a phone call answers that call. That model is great if you're serving one big client. But when you're serving multiple clients, that is not a very feasible system or a very efficient system because the customer service level drops drastically. What I mean by that is, say for example, you have 100 agents at a call center, right? LFS is a client, Lander for Success is a client. So a client for Lander for Success calls in, that call could go to any one of the 100 agents, right? So how these call centers work is a script pops up of a certain scenario, a certain questionnaire,
Right.
if then statements and whatnot, right, to the agent. So the agent who's handling this phone call might not have dealt with LFS clients maybe for a month or 2 months, right? So
So it's no
how
longer relevant.
no longer relevant, right? So when a call comes in, you don't know the processes of the business. You don't know, what's actually relevant. The relevancy isn't there. So we kind of shifted our model, and we thought, okay, so how can we better serve our clients by providing a service that could be relevant, that could be intimate? Because the intimacy factor is very important. Because what I mean by the intimacy factor is understanding a client's need and their business, right? Without understanding it, we will just be another call center, right? So what we did was we started using a dedicated model. So not a single agent dedicated model, but a group dedicated model, like a shared minute dedicated model. Whereas we would group 5 to 6 agents maximum, and they would handle 10 to 15 businesses. So the owners of these businesses would know at what point and at what time which agent is online for them.
Wow.
Right? So what happens is, over the course of weeks, over the course of months, these agents become very familiar with the process of that business. Their response rate in terms of call handling goes up drastically, right? Whereas, you know, the first week, yes, it's a struggle because they're learning the process. But we also implement a Kaizen strategy where we're constantly improving, right? So every month we touch base with our clients to see, okay, you know what, how was our past month? How can we improve on the process? So that's one of the key factors that all of our clients appreciate about what we do, is the regular advancement towards understanding their business. So we do that on a monthly basis, right? So with this dedicated model, you know, when a call comes in, it'll only go to those 5 agents, 5 or 6 agents, right? So at a particular time, a business owner is going to know, okay, you know what, from 8 to 9 or 8 to 5 or whatever, this agent's on. So if I need to connect with this agent, I would just message him or email them, and then they'll know, okay, if my process has changed, I'm out of the office, so take a message, right? So they can use us as a direct receptionist, or whichever way they want in terms of handling their back end process or even their phone calls.
That to me, you know, and I love that you, I'm going to say lovingly call that a dedicated model. And that is very much a solution oriented model. When you listen to your customers and you have an intimate group that is suddenly now an incredible resource for your companies, you know, when you get to know them at that in depth, and you know, that's upfront and personal, then
Right.
you can't help but then know what solutions you need and what solutions you can provide them, as opposed to here's a million different agents. I'm sure there's going to be some people that walk away having had their needs met. I don't know, but it's, to those of you watching, and it's on the screen, it's in the post, it's in the comments, 24hvirtual.com. And, you know, he talked about it, but it is, we answer, you grow. And Paul, you guys have on here, you know, the top reasons to get a virtual receptionist. And it's funny because you're thinking, okay, calls answered, it's the number one thing. However, when you take into an account that Paul and his co-founder, Sabrina Jamal, are hiring only trained professionals, providing exceptional customer experiences. I mean, that's it. I mean, we've all been on the receiving end of when you know that you need to call the big name companies and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to have to about schedule half of my day because it's going to be like 5 hours on the phone to get that taken care of. That's a big deal. When you have live calls from live people, you know, your fully comprehensive virtual receptionist service. This to me seems like an incredible buffet of solutions that every business owner can really stand to benefit from the significant value it will bring to their business. In your experience to date, what has been for you one of the biggest challenges that has proven to shift how you've grown into a direction of just substantial success for your clients and what those relationships look like?
One of the things that lot of, I don't like to say competition, but other businesses in the space don't do, is learn other businesses' softwares. Right. So what we started doing is we started learning their software, their backend software. So it's either myself or Sabrina. So I'm the tech guy. So she puts it on me to learn it. Right. So I learned the software. and then we teach the agents how to use the software. Right. So one of the software, the recent
So
acquisition.
sorry. So wait, you say learn to speak the language of your clients?
That is correct. That is
Okay,
correct.
just throwing it out there, everybody. You heard it here.
So one of our clients' recent acquisition is a home inspection company. He is a franchisee, and he uses a franchise-approved software. The software, I don't want to say who the franchise is, but I'll tell you what the software is. The software is called Inspection Support Network. So what we did was we learned the software. He wanted us to handle everything from A to Z on his business. Only thing he wanted to do was go out and do the inspection. He didn't want to handle any phone calls. He didn't want to handle his emails. He didn't want to handle any leads that are coming through his website. He didn't want to handle any of the quoting. He wanted us to handle everything. Sure, no problem. So the challenge was in taking on a business like that is how are we going to integrate our backend process with their backend process without having to bypass any security protocols, right? So that was our key issue in dealing with that. So how are we going to deal with handling his email without him giving us his password? So what we did was we created a generic email on Gmail and have him forward his email to our email. And then when we replied we created an alias for his email. And then when we replied through that. So there was no transfer of passwords. There was no transfer of, us being exposed to any pertinent information that he may not want us getting exposed to. So those were kind of the processes that were difficult to understand and to put into place in order to handle this client. So once we got that out of the way, now is the communication. Okay, how is he going to communicate with our agents? Okay, email is great, but it takes time. So how are we going to integrate live support, right? So then we integrated Slack into the process. So what we did was we started creating individual channels for individual businesses. Wow. And then we added our agents into those channels, whoever's dedicated to that business. So whenever a business owner wants to communicate with the agent on duty, they could do so through their own individual Slack channel. So what this gave us was quality assurance, which was key because we didn't want to go to a third-party software where we didn't have a direct visual of what was happening. So we needed to see, okay, how are agents communicating with the business owner, and how is the communication process going? So in order to assure our clients, okay, there's value here, we needed to monitor it, and that's what we started doing through our Slack channel. So that was the second part, was the communication. Okay, now in terms of learning the system. So now we fully learned the system. So what we do is we record every process on like a screen recording, and then the agent has to go through that training of how to handle certain processes through their video modules. Right? So
that's incredible. That's
right.
It's a personal approach, and what's fun obviously it's fun for you guys, but it's fun for me even listening, because we know that everything that you're addressing, everything that 24hvirtual.com is addressing has been around. It's nothing new. No. But what's new, if you will, is meeting individuals that are building businesses on integrity. And that integrity involves we all know that the best business is built on relationships.
Correct.
It's, people can come and go when they're on their dollars, but they will stay with the people, right? So they'll stay when you have someone that is taking a red carpet approach with the white glove service for your needs as a business owner. That's incredible. That's game changing. And that's,
right.
I think it's age-old story of different problems that you hear. I mean, a lot of what you're addressing, I mean, it's in different circles, and I can like count on hands. I'm not like an octopus, but like pretend these are all my arms and these are all my
Right.
hands, all of the issues.
Mhm.
So it's fantastic that you have that level of personal touch into how people can really take a load off and turn things over
Right.
to a business like yours, Paul, and be able to trust in what you and Sabrina are building, have built, and I know are expanding here,
Mhm.
and put their focus in other areas. And
Yeah.
that's awesome.
The
So
that's you're absolutely right when it comes to putting their focus in other areas, is because when a phone call comes in, it's not like texting, right? You cannot multitask. When a phone call comes in, you're 100% dedicated to the phone call and listening to that individual, if it's especially when that's your customer. So for the niches we serve, a lot of these niches don't understand the value that it could bring. I'll give you an example. So the individual I was telling you about, who's part of Lander for Success, was a client of ours. That individual had referred us to one of their lawyer friends. So we've been trying to get a hold of this lawyer friend, but of no avail, right? Trying to bring them on, of course. So I had Sabrina reach out to them today, and it went straight to their voicemail. So I told Sabrina, anytime a business owner or business number goes to voicemail is beneficial to us, because that's our business model, right? So this is a lawyer, and imagine if they had an answering service worth $300 to $500 a month. Okay, that's pretty much our most spend with most businesses, between $300 to $500, right? If they had that individual, if they had a service like us for $300 to $500 a month, imagine if they had a client. The bottom line that client could potentially add to this lawyer could be in the tens of thousands of dollars. All right. So that's an example. And lawyers, and I've reached out to many lawyers, especially in Canada. For them, they don't see value in this because they don't understand the value in it. For example, a lawyer goes into a meeting. A lawyer goes into the courthouse. Their phone is going off. But at that point, that's where we come in, where, transfer your phone call to us while you're going into it. Then we can handle your phone call while you're away.
that's potential clients.
Right. And then
That's
take your
business.
forward off. Yeah. And then take your forward off when you're ready. Right. So there's so many variations on how they like businesses could use our service. It's just having those conversations with them and educating them, because, like, as I said, it's very new to a lot of businesses in Canada. So they're very, the key word is scared or losing control.
A little hesitant in
Correct.
that, but what I love in what you said there is, one, it's educating, and
Mhm.
two, again, back to the relationship, having a conversation and having the ability to build
Right.
or have a tailored structure in place or method in place that will help your business,
Mhm.
depending on what it is that you're looking for. And I'm telling you, I do not know. I cannot imagine anyone in business, when you can't answer your phone or you don't
Right.
have you don't have the time, and you're not virtually, you're physically declining potential business, which is money.
Right.
And there's a solution for that. And Paul Joseph and Sabrina Jamal are 24hvirtual.com. They have the solution.
There is a
I'm telling
solution.
you, there is a solution,
and
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 they
it's
are
not
it.
and it's not and it's not one shoe fits all solution. Believe me, it's not.
It can't, like, no, and that would be fun too, because that's what would make your business fun. It's not the same every day.
No,
There's
yeah,
always something different,
that's
which
right.
keeps it exciting. And
Very exciting.
I'm sure in your scope of work, you've seen a little bit of everything. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's anything that would be off limits for you. I mean, you just heard Paul. For those of you, if you're just tuning in now, go back to the replay because he gave a perfect example of just how they go above and beyond to serve their clients. And if that means creating something entirely out of the blue because that's what the client needs, well, they've done it. So, they'll do it again. But
in terms of, no, I'm sorry, I was going to say, in terms of educating, I'll give you an example. It's funny. It's relatable because it's part of Landed for Success. Because I reached out to an individual. They had a post on Landed for Success that they were hiring receptionists, right?
mm-hmm.
So I messaged them and I said, "Have you ever thought about hiring a virtual receptionist?" So their response to me was, "This is not what you think. It's beyond the scope of what a virtual assistant." I didn't say virtual assistant, I said virtual receptionist. So they said, "This is beyond the scope of what a virtual assistant can do for us," right? So I, to me, and there was other blurb that I don't want to mention, but anyways, so the interesting part is a lot of people don't know the term virtual receptionist, especially in Canada. They think they relate virtual assistant and virtual receptionist together. That is not the case, right? So I responded to this individual and I said, we have clients that we handle phone calls for that require multilingual agents. And we have agents in Canada, United States, Europe, and Asia. So all these agents can handle what you need for them to do, where you're paying a substantial amount of money to hire these agents, to train these agents. And if they don't work out, then you got to retrain them, right? So with us, you only train us once, right? And we bring on the extra agents when you need them. We train the extra agents when you need them. So at that point, like when you look at the big scope of things, it's literally 1/3. I'm sorry, not 1/3, 1/10 of what you would spend on an annual basis to have an actual in-house receptionist.
That's a lot of that's hundreds of dollars a month, thousands of dollars a year back in your pocket as a business owner to put back into your business in other ways. And so that's tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime while you're running your business. That's significant. Mm-hmm. That is significant monetary value. That's one way to get that back. That's amazing.
Yeah, compare it to $5,000 to $50,000 a year. That's your annual spend on us average is about between $3,500 to $5,000 a year, maybe $6,000 a year. For any professional businesses, right? Unless you have high call volume, then it's different. But yeah.
Yes. Well, I don't know if this is my internet or your internet. Can you hear? Oh, now you're back. I think so. Are you there? Okay. All right. Well, I get excited. It's not even my business, but it's been fun to have you hop on here.
Thank you.
To all of you, Paul, Joseph, co-founder of 24hvirtual.com, and his link is in the post. Please check him out. It's also in the comments. And to hear from him again, if you're like, well, that's great, let's hear more from Paul. You want to hear more from Paul. He is going to be holding one of our gifting sponsors spotlights this Thursday evening. To grab your ticket, and I will post this in the link. I will post this link in the post as well once we hop out of here. Mm-hmm. www.landedforsuccess.com/events. Drop Paul's name in there because we want to know Paul got us inspired to come to the event. Come and experience what next level networking, what our next level networking events are. They're fun. We really, really love our community of individuals that show up to network and grow who they are personally and professionally. It matters. Paul, a pleasure, absolute pleasure to be hosting you again. as a gifting sponsor and taking the spotlight. Paul's incredible. And yeah, I just love what you and Sabrina are doing with your business. You know, I send all the love, best of vibes to you across the miles.
Thank you.
You've got some exciting things coming up with your company as well. So
We
to all
do.
of you, stay tuned because
Yeah.
we're going to be coming back with more from Paul. There is going to be an expanded spotlight interview panel taking place next Monday afternoon at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you'll definitely get to hear more from him then. But I'm telling you, reach out. And as always, because this is coming, you can tell by his energy, he's not going to be like, no, don't call me or connect with me. Do it. Reach out to him. Definitely connect. And if, maybe you aren't in a need right now of, having the solutions that 24hvirtual.com has, fantastic. But probably everybody watching this knows someone that may appreciate the value and solutions that they bring. So, when it comes to connecting and networking, it's who do you know? Connecting so-and-so to so-and-so. And that's how we lift others up. When we lift others up, we lift up ourselves. So please do that. And if for some reason you are just like, well, I'd like a personal introduction. Well, then drop me a line and I will make that happen. When I come on live with Paul and other incredible people that are just as phenomenal as he is, I love giving personal introductions. It's absolutely my pleasure. And yeah, so please do it, Paul. I love what you're doing. Hats off to you and Sabrina for 24hvirtual.com. Have an amazing evening. Anything you want to say to everybody on our way out of here tonight?
Oh, LFS members, they always have perks. So, it's a never-ending perks. So if you're an LFS member, let me know, and perks will be on its way.
Amazing. All right. To everybody, great night to you. Have an amazing week. We'll see you at Thursday night's 14th Virtual Speed Networking event. Grab your ticket. I will be dropping the link in the post as soon as we hop off of here. Paul, take care.